It's been a minute since I've last seen you guys. It's been a long minute. Um, I really don't know how to even do an intro anymore. But welcome back. Welcome to another episode, a return episode, a long overdue episode of Your Spoken Truth podcast. Um, Normally I have guests with me. As you can see, I don't have any guests except Casper and God. So I just thought, maybe it's time to just hop on here one more time and just talk. So yeah, welcome to another episode of Your Spoken Truth podcast. And it has been a long minute. The last time I was even on a camera talking about this podcast was April of 2024 when I had my last guest. And it's currently September of 2025. And that means over a year has happened to where I've even looked at this podcast, and that is a shame. That is a shame on my end, first and foremost. And I'm not gonna lie, I've missed it. I've missed this podcast ever since the last episode. I've talked about it a lot to people that I just want to get back on this podcast and start doing things, more things that's come to mind. And I don't know. I just felt like if I kept talking about it and just talking about it, time was gonna slip by, and I wasn't gonna do it. That's what happened for the past year plus. I wasn't gonna do it, and I don't know. It's time to just get back on it, and here I am. I don't have anything specific to talk about. I'm just gonna talk about whatever comes to mind. Like, this could be an hour plus video. This could be a 10-minute video, 15-minute video. Whatever happens in this happens. You feel me? So I don't know. I feel like I should update you guys on what life has been like over the past year plus. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Kevin. I am the host slash founder of this podcast that was formed off of a dream, which I'll get to in a minute. And all I do on this podcast is I bring people on to just share their story, share whatever they want to talk about. They don't even have to share their story. They can just come on here and talk about whatever. They can talk about aliens. I don't really care. It's just whatever you feel like is your truth that day. I want you to come on here and just talk. I want to have an open space to just people to come and feel like they can not be judged. They're wanted and they have a voice. I feel like everybody has a voice to share. You feel me? Everybody has a voice to share. And that is why I called it Your Spoken Truth. So where have I been at? So we'll break it down chronologically. So after April, I graduated college that next month in May. And I moved back to Dallas. Originally, I started this podcast in Huntsville, my college town. And then came out to Dallas. And I've been here ever since. And it has been a struggle to focus solely on the podcast and then also focus on life's things as well. And then I'm going to get to it next week. 1 week turns into 5 weeks. 5 weeks turns into 15 weeks. 15 weeks turns into a whole year plus of me not even acting like I care about this podcast. And so, yeah, I went to college, graduated college. And after that, I went through, like all most graduates of college, that struggle between trying to find a job and then feeling like, oh, I'm doing nothing with my life. Like, I remember that whole summer, I applied to like 50 plus jobs within the span of 3 weeks. Didn't hear back to anything from anyone. And I was like, dog, I feel like a bum. Like, ain't nobody hitting me up. Ain't nobody hitting my line. Like, is this like, oh no, I don't know what I was going to do. I just needed a job. I knew I couldn't stay in the house all summer. I needed a job. And due to my own foolish decisions that I made in college, my dream job, which I'll get to in a minute, wasn't obtainable at that current time period. So by the Lord's grace and mercy, about a month and a half later, I get a job working security at Walmart of all places. And it's crazy how that even panned out. I applied for like a little warehouse gig. I'm like, okay, just got out of college. Let me get my hands dirty and start building things with these hands. You feel me? And so I get a little, and then I go to an interview. She's like, "Oh, what'd you do in college?" Criminal justice. Oh, we got a cool little job called asset protection. You'll be working with law enforcement. I ain't apply for that position. It was brought to me at the spot. That's how I knew that was God. And so I get hired by that position, and I worked there for a couple months. I get fired because I don't know how to slow down and not chase after bad guys. And crazy how the situations turned out, because my dream was to be an officer, and I worked with officers every day. And the day I get fired is the day I get the green light that I can go possibly apply with somebody that I didn't think was attainable, catered towards my dream. So it's weird how like working at Walmart for that short amount of time catered into what I'm currently doing now, if that makes sense. And so I do that job, doesn't work out. After that, I go into a warehouse field. So this is when I really get my hands dirty. For about 4 months, I'm in a warehouse stacking up boxes after boxes after boxes. Lord knows the amount of boxes I done saw, the amount of couches and TVs I done saw. And it was a cool job. I liked working at FedEx. It was really cool. Uh, but yeah, it just was to me, it was just something to try, and it was really good. Um, so around this time, I'm also trying to build my dream, which is the dream I've had since I was a kid, which is to be an officer. I get the green light for that around this time, so I think around January is when I get the notice that I'm hired. And I remember going to work at FedEx, like, you know what, stack like 50 boxes. I don't care. I only got 2 more weeks here anyway, so. But yeah. And then around this 2025 started building towards that dream, which I'm currently living in right now. So that is a short summary of where I've been at for the past year and a half. And I will get more deeper into it as we talk. But yeah. So man, I'm not even gonna edit this because it doesn't even feel right to edit it. But yeah, that's where I've been at. So doesn't excuse that I haven't been on this podcast. And truth be told, around this time last year, 2024, of September of 2024, I told myself, oh, I want to get back on this podcast. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. But I didn't have any follow through. And it's crazy because I wrote in my journal that I was gonna make another episode. And I never did. I let the life circumstances get to me. And I let the busyness of life get to me. And it just passed me by, day after day after day after day. So I spoke about a little bit on the purpose of this podcast, but I wanted to talk about how this even formed. How is this even a thing? So it was 2023, October 2023. I was in my dorm room. I was asleep. You feel me? I was asleep. And I have a dream. And in this dream, I have a podcast. Word for word is called Your Spoken Truth. And in this dream, I have this podcast and I'm having people on, and I wake up and I'm like, dog, what on God's green earth did I just dream? So that same morning in class, I opened my laptop, went to Google Docs, and I just wrote everything from my dream into paper. And then that month later, I started filming my first episode. So the whole point of this podcast came from a dream. I didn't think about like, oh, I'm gonna make a podcast one day and it's gonna be really, really big. I didn't even know what Your Spoken Truth was gonna be the name until I had that dream, and that's all it is. This whole podcast is built off of a dream that I had while I was in college, sleep in my dorm room, and yeah, that is the formation of this podcast. Like everything from the name, the title, the colors, the schemes was so prevalent in this dream. I'm like, dog, this isn't just something to just dream and then not create. You feel me? So just from dream life to real life and put it out there. But that's how it formed, and it's crazy. I remember having like my first few guests on there, and I would get them to talk about whatever they wanted to talk about, and it would always be more Christ centered. Truth be told, and that was because that's one of the three philosophies of this podcast is to keep God first in all things. So I remember just talking to people and then like finding joy in hearing people's stories and just finding it interesting to talk with different people because I've learned throughout life and throughout my break from this podcast is that no two people are the same. I've learned a lot over the past year, and yeah, no two people are the same. People are so different and so similar, but very different. Like we go through so many unique experiences in lives, and these experiences can alter how we perceive life on our own. You feel me? And then it creates this own little story, and that's what people have is they all have a story, and I just like to have a platform for people to share that story. And that's the whole point, was just getting to know people, getting to talk with people, and yeah, that's how this whole thing started, and that's how it's been going. And truth be told, is the crazy thing about this podcast is it helps me more than anything, because some of the biggest struggles I had was not using my voice and speaking my truth. So I create this podcast where I get people to speak their voice and speak up and share their truths. And meanwhile, I'm here and I'm just like, oh, I will stay quiet. And it was like a very conflicting nature. That's why I didn't want to be on camera at first, because I didn't want to hear people. I didn't want people to hear me talk about all my life story and the things I went through and the things I've learned. And I still battle with that from time to time. And so it's weird how the parallel comes between having people speak their own truth and also speaking my own truth and all of that. So that's where we formed. That's how we were created. That is what we do in this community of people. So what else happened? Oh, so I could say around this time last year, mentally, bro, your boy was going through it. From September all the way to December of 2024, spiritual warfare, whatever you want to call it, was hitting your boy like ha 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 ha, right to left, right to left, right to left. I'm like, dog, like what is going on? And it was also my own foolish choices and my own lack of obedience that was also promoting the spiritual warfare. It got to the point that around this time in September, I didn't feel like I had any joy. I remember writing in my journal that I so desperately wanted my joy back. That was the one line that I cared about because I didn't have no joy. I cut everything off, from people to places to things. I cut everything off, and I chose to suffer in silence, which I don't recommend. I don't recommend that at all. Truth be told, always reach out to people when you are going through it. Trying to isolate and deal with it yourself only prolongs the pain that you may be going through. As a matter of fact, you're not really isolating because the Lord himself knows exactly what you're going through because he sees your heart. So who are you really hiding from except yourself? You don't want to speak and share your truth when the Lord knows your truth. And the big part of Christianity is love and community, loving God and his people. But you don't want to let people love you because you don't feel like you deserve love. Yeah, that's the stuff that was going in my head around this time. So I feel like it was best to isolate and just, find solitude with the Lord. And, everybody makes their own choices in life. I made mine. And yeah, so that goes in the show. That I don't even know where I'm going with this, but I just don't isolate. It's not good. Please, 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 telling you from experience, do not isolate. It's not good. It's not good because you don't know who can help you. You don't know by you speaking something what that might invoke in another human being. Because I've seen it done when I've done it before. You feel me? I've seen all of this happen, and I'm like, it hits me like a ton of bricks. Like, all that isolation for what? How hard was it to speak up and say that you were hurting? How hard was it to speak up and said you're not happy? And how hard was it to speak up and just say what's on your mind? Letting all these people and all these situations run over you, letting you get trapped in this own mental cycle that you call a mind, that you think is more powerful than the Lord, rule over you and your heart, and it just doesn't end good for nobody. So yeah, around this time I was making silly choices. I was getting back into addictions and negative thinking, and I could feel that my body from spiritually was going through it, and it was also showing on the external. Like, I would throw up randomly out of nowhere. I would go through kidney pain and be bedridden for like a day plus and throw up again and go to work, throwing up outside of work and all of this. And it was deeper than just physical pain because I felt like it was spiritual pain as well because the stuff that I was doing was not good. I wasn't living a life of true obedience to the Lord, of true fear and love to the Lord, because I would go back to things that the Lord called me out of, truth be told. And so I was dealing with that whole over spiritualization, spiritual warfare. Oh, I can't get back up because I'm still down here. Let me tell you that you can always get back up. You can always get back up. You can fall. The righteous man falls 7 times, but he will get right back up again. And that's something I had to learn, and I'm still learning. Kick me down, break my ankle, break my leg, my toes, my feet, my heart. I will get right back up again because the Lord is where I put my confidence in. The Lord is where you should put your confidence in. Don't put your confidence in no man. Don't let no man break you. Get up. Just get up. You feel me? And that's what I was going through, and I remember. So this goes in line with my dream goal in life or career. So it was one morning I indulged in sexual sin within myself when I knew I shouldn't have. And I remember laying on my bed, crying, because of the amount of guilt and shame and how filthy I felt right after that, because I kept doing things that I knew I shouldn't be doing. I kept telling the Lord that I'm not going to do that anymore, but I kept going back towards it because part of my body wanted it, another part of me didn't, and it was like a clashing of desires, you know, quick pleasures versus long-term pleasures, which is in the Lord. So, I remember laying on my bed, just scrolling through the Bible, and I'm bawling my eyes out, man. This song that at the time was like the song that would get me by was playing, and I follow and I stumble on this verse in Isaiah. I think it's 50 something 17 or 10, and it said, "The mountains and hills will break, the love and the covenant of peace will never leave you. Thus saith the Lord, who has compassion over you." And I read that verse, stomach hurting, in pain, fell on my floor, laid down, started rubbing my belly, begging the Lord, saying, "I need you, Jesus. I need you, Jesus." And I get a call, and it's from the people, the dream job. And they said, "I'm hired." And the call was deeper than anything because it felt like the Lord saying, "Okay, you got another chance. Get right back up. Keep going. Get right back up. Keep going. Get right back up. Keep going." And I remember bawling my eyes out because this dream I've had since I was a 5-year-old kid was actually finally coming true. And to be more more bigger than that, the amount of spiritual warfare I feel like I was going through for the time felt like it was starting to, you know, move up, move off. Feel like I can continue again. And man, man, that's why I say it's like it's crazy how much can happen in a year. Your whole life could change in 1 year. Truth be told, cut all the wait 5 years and you'll see change in your life, bro. Your whole life can change in 1 year, and I'm gonna stand on that to the day I die. Your whole life can change in a day. My life changed the day I grew closer to Christ. And excuse the dogs. So my life changed the day I grew closer to Christ. I accepted Christ in my mind, body, and spirit. But yeah, that's what life looked like around this time last year. So fast forward to the beginning of 2025. I'm on a mission. You know, I'm like joy, joy, joy. I'm listening to African praise music. Joy, joy, joy. It's the only thing on my mind. Peace, joy, love, all of it. So I started my career, and that was fun. It was 6 months of training. Wasn't easy. God, it wasn't easy. Uh, amount of times that I didn't think I could do it. The amount of times I was told I didn't belong there. I remember because it hit me so hard when I was told I didn't belong to do this job that I've been working so hard to do. And let me paint the picture. So we're going through training, the scenarios, and all that. I make a mistake. I knew I made a mistake. I'll own up to that. And the one of the older senior heads stops me and somebody else and looks me dead in my eyes and says, "You do not belong here. And I'm going to make sure everybody that is in charge of you knows that." And I'm looking at the man. I'm not sad or anything, but I was filled with like so much rage inside of my body. I only felt that amount of rage a few times in my life because my everything I've been was building for could have been snapped within an instant because of my own choices and my own mistakes. And I had to own up to that, change and do better. But flash forward 6 months, I'm still in training, but I graduated. So don't let anybody who would doubt on you say you don't belong here or want to use tough love and try to get you down. If the Lord said you're going to be here, you're going to be here. If the Lord said you're going to be in this position, you're going to be in this position. And that's what happened. You feel me? Don't let people tell you stuff, project things onto you to get you off centered of your assignment and your purpose the Lord placed in front of you. You feel me? Don't ever let that, because I've had that happen to me, and I've let that happen to me before, and this doesn't do good. It takes you off course. You could be hauling ass to an assignment that the Lord placed on you. You let situations come on top of you. You let life circumstances get on top of you. You let, in a word and the seed that the Lord placed on your heart is tarnished. Don't let that happen. It's not good. All it causes is unnecessary delay. And the Lord can and will give that same talent to somebody else because you didn't steward it well. So if the Lord told you to do something, do it the first time. Take it from me. Do it the first time. Don't wait months and months and months and delay after delay after delay to do something the Lord told you to do. Because it doesn't bode well for anybody. It causes you to deal with the consequences of waiting to do something that the Lord told you to do. It causes more unnecessary hurt and pain. So don't let people doubt you. People want to talk. They're going to talk. They want to talk. They talk. They talk. Everybody in this generation loves to talk. They love to say things that people they don't really know about. So just like when that person said, I don't belong here, or, sir, if I don't belong here, just watch me. From your lips to God's ears. That's what I'm learning to tell people. And yeah. And the biggest thing throughout those 6 months, I made some mistakes. But the biggest thing that kept me by was knowing that you gotta stay the course. Stay the course. Every day, every morning, every hour, that I would wake up and didn't want to go. Didn't want to do this. It's too hard. Like, why am I doing this? What's the point of this? It's a bigger purpose. It's bigger. It's not always about you. You feel me? It's never about you. The things that we go through, the things that we have to do, it doesn't just end with you. There is something greater out there. Think of it like Christ. Was he crucified and was he killed and was his ribs, beard, and all of that plucked out and stabbed through just for him? No, he died for us. It was bigger than that. It's always bigger than this current situation that you're looking at. So it looks like it's so defeating right now. But just keep stepping through, keep walking through, because it's bigger. Trust me, it's bigger. You don't know who, what, how, whatever it is you're going through will impact the next person. What the Lord is going to do with that situation that you're going through, the vengeance, the restoration, it's bigger than you. And I don't know why I'm saying this. I told you, I'm not editing. I'm not I'm not editing this podcast. I'm just talking whatever comes to my mind. So if it's all over the place, forgive me. But yeah. So around this time, from January to July, the one verse that I kept going back to was Psalms 23. I could not stop reading that every morning because it would keep me by. It would keep me going on some of the toughest days and on some of the darkest nights. And when it said, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake." You see that? It's not about you. It's not about you. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That verse, that chapter right there, kept me going every morning. And I fell off. I'll be a man of my word and admit to you around like the third month, around April, May, I started to fall off. I started to indulge in things that I shouldn't be indulging in. The same addictions that I thought I was done with in 2024 came back and faced me in my eyes. And was I going to go forward or was I not going to go forward? And I went forward and boom, consequences had to deal with. But that chapter right there saved me greatly. It's always like that. It's always a chapter, a verse, a paragraph, something keeps me by. But yeah. So what else happened? Around this time, so in the midst of all this year and a half, from the last time y'all saw me to when you see me now, in the midst of July 2025, I was also in this program called Regeneration Recovery. And I can make a whole nother episode about the impact of like regen and what that did for me spiritually and what I did for others spiritually. But I would say it broke me down. It brought the deepest things that I would kept secret in my heart. And I had to share that with strangers that I didn't know before this. That's what taught me how to speak up. Sharing some of the darkest secrets and darkest things. And, to me, they were dark. With other people. And all they did was meet you with prayer. Meet you with fellowship and brotherhood. But the whole point of this process of regen was to recovery in Christ. And I like to think of it, it broke all of the things that wasn't of Christ in me down. And there's still a work in progress. And it builds you up through Christ in restoration and regeneration. And so I'm going through this as well simultaneously as I'm in this training. And the crazy thing, this is why I know this was the Lord. So I commits from Regen in July. I graduate from my training in July. And they're both in the same week of each other. So two of the biggest things that was currently going in my life over the past year plus were all ending at the same time. And that week, man, that was a special week. I was that was a special week. The amount of times I then broke down and cried that week, just thanking God for how far He brought me through, everything He brought me through. Seeing that picture and those videos That's something I'll never forget. And man, like even yesterday, I have the picture on my wall. I looked at it last night. Got some Chinese food last night. I looked at it, and tears flowed up to my eyes because I remembered all of that, all of what it took to get to that point. All of the people, one that see like, and I'm gonna go on a tangent too. Like, you don't know the amount of people that are supporting you. You don't know the village that you have behind you. So don't isolate. Because there's a whole vast amount of people that want to support and love on you, pour into you. You just gotta let them in. You gotta let them in. And I looked at that picture and I started to think about everything that happened and everything that's been going on to lead to that one moment. Though, how can I not thank God? I didn't ask to be here, bro. I didn't Did I ask for that to be in that position? Yes, but did I think I was going to? No. I thought the things that I was doing, the foolish decisions, the weed, the porn, the the age, like I thought it wasn't unattainable. And the Lord redeems. And I looked at that picture and then I look it back I look back on how things are going now and it's just crazy. And so yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but that's just also just me giving you a timeline of what things have happened. And yeah, so January to July covered that. So now August to now hasn't always been the easiest. Hasn't Even now it's not the easiest going through life and life circumstances and situations. And that's why I said earlier the biggest thing I'm learning this year is obedience. Do it the first time. Uh yeah. And so yeah, it's about obedience because I don't know. If you're not obedient to the Lord, you're obedient to something else. And that's not good. It's not good. I learned that from experience. Your all should be in the Lord. Your first and foremost, everything should be in the Lord. It's so easy to get off track, and it's so easy to get comfortable, because that's what I feel like I was leading towards. I got comfortable, and I was trying to get out of that. And I kept saying, "I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get out." But it was just an excuse to not get out and not do the things that I knew I should be doing. And I got too comfortable and had to deal with those consequences. And yeah, life be life, but God be doing His thing. So that goes in the show, like it's kind of weird how things were flowing because it was like the best moments of my life happened this year, and some of the not so happy moments also happened this year. All happened in the same year. It's only September, bro. And I would think to myself, like, dog, like the amount of time that I wasted because I couldn't get out of my own mind this year from April. Like, dog, that's why I said just get up. Just get up, bro. You're gonna waste so much time. So much unnecessary time. You don't just get up. You fall, get right back up, bro. It's not good, you know? And there's been some low moments. There's been some days where I would couldn't do anything but break down and just cry out to the Lord. But there's been some good moments as well. There's been some joyful moments. It just comes with living this life that we call on earth. And you feel me? There's gonna be some sort of suffering. There's gonna be some sort of trials and tribulations. But what do you do during those trials and tribulations? What are you gonna do when it comes at your footsteps, when it comes at your door? Are you going to fall down and let it run all over you? Or are you going to walk directly through it? Cling to God day in and day out through those trials. And I'll be honest, for most of those trials, my first response was let it run all over me. Let it get me down. Let it break me down. And where I'm at now is I'm just, you get better day by day. Day by day, it doesn't hurt as much. Day by day, you can cling to the Lord and all that. You feel me? And just do what the Lord told you to do. Focus on the priorities that the Lord gave you in the first place. Let's start with that. And then we do focus on other stuff, But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I look at where I'm at in life right now, and it's crazy because I've seen a lot due to my job and other situations. I've seen a lot of stuff that I normally wouldn't want to see. It's exciting. It's also sad. This world has another side to itself that I don't think many people realize. Uh, and that can get at you. If you don't got a strong support system, you don't got a strong anchor in whatever it is that keeps you by, it can beat you down. And even thinking about it now, like, there's a few situations that I had to be a part of. Though I can't say exactly what I do, but it is what it is. There was a few situations I had to witness, and it gets at you, man. Like, and so yeah, that's why I say life can change in on so much in 1 year. But it comes with the territory that you signed up for. You feel me? But yeah, and that's where I'm at. You feel me? Just focusing on getting joy back and focusing on what the Lord had called me to do. In certain situations like this podcast that I'm filming right now, I've been putting this on the burner for so long. I've been delaying it for so long, and it's like, bro, why? What are you doing? Why can't you listen to God for once? Let's just focus on the priorities. Let's get this thing flowing. You gonna say I'm gonna start something. You say I'm gonna build this thing. I'm gonna do it. Just give me time. Just give me time. Give me time. Now I'm 70. Where'd all the time go? I'm not trying to be like that. You know? I think of it because I just watched a sermon about the 10 talents, and when it talked about, oh buddy, I think he had like 1 or 2 talents, and he dug it for himself, and he didn't multiply it and add fruit, but the other ones with 5 or so talents multiplied their talents, and they brought back more fruit to the Lord. And the Lord took that buddy's talents that he tried to dug and wait and wait and wait. And he gave it to the ones that were multiplying and bringing fruit. You feel me? So if the Lord gives you a vision, the Lord gives you something, and he puts something on your heart to do, when you get that green light to go for it, just go for it, bro. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Don't delay. Because and I struggle with this sometimes with delaying. Delayed obedience is a real thing. I'm going to get to it. So I don't do it. So that's in the word too. The 2 brothers. Don't be like that one brother that says I'm going to do it, but don't do it. Be like the brother that said I'm not going to do it, but repented and did it anyways. You feel me? I digress. I digress. But yeah, man, that's uh a brief summary of what life has looked like in the past year and a half. Has life been easy? Heck no. But would I change it? Heck no. Would I do it all over again? For the most part. Just because life has taught me so much about myself, about others, about the Lord in this past year that I've been back in Dallas. So yeah, that's where I've been at. Let's see. I brought my journal out here just in case I didn't know what I wanted to talk about. And that's what I recommend. I love journaling. Or do whatever it helps you, but for me, journaling has always helped me put the thoughts that I at times didn't have the strength to say out loud. Because to me, I journal to the Lord. So everything I put in here is just a direct prayer and just being real with the Lord. And I just put it in here. And yeah, that's like I wrote even last night, you feel me? That that the Lord just keeps my heart pure in all things. You know, life has a funny way of if you let it changing your heart, hardening your heart. And it doesn't happen in like an instant. It happens slowly. It happens in the one small tear, turns into a bigger tear and a bigger tear. And now you just got this hard ass heart. And that's one of my biggest prayers. Lord, keep my heart within His will. And yeah. So that's where I've been at. Uh, let's see. What are we gonna talk about? I feel like I owe y'all like a 5 hour podcast because your boy been slacking. But I want to talk about dreams. Maybe I talked about it already in a little bit, but let's talk about dreams. And you know, I have two big dreams in my life. Well, three: my career, this podcast, and another one is the gyms. So this be the first time I've actually put it out there. So it's probably gonna be a way to hold me accountable. But 2023 in the summer, going through it, young, 19, 18, I think 18, I think I was 19. Uh, Going through it, angry, hurt, mad, sad because of situations that were going on. Also at that time, gave my life to Christ on a deeper level. Oh well, really the combination of what happened throughout that year in 2023 in the summer. But I don't know, I had a thought and it was just like I want to build a Christian gym. I love fitness and I love Christ. I want to put them two together. And I've had this vision for 2 years now and I haven't done anything on it because I still got to figure out how to create this thing, you know? Or rather I need to just start and do something, you feel me? But I want to have a space and a place where people can build their temples and build their bodies up, but also come to Christ. A Christian gym, and it had like so in my mind of visions, I have the gym to the right and then the church to the left, and I have people that are vetted and true in the children of God that can operate this church, and I have the gym to where it's all just a space, and it's also a space for people to just come, feel free, no judgment, no hurt, just come and just be there, you know? just I come to, like, when Christ says my yoke is easy and my burden is light, and he says cast your cares onto him. I ain't saying I'm God, so don't quote me, but it's something that's like a foundation of like the vision. You can be going through whatever, but just come to him and just come here and feel free to do whatever. And I like it because you can grow closer in Christ, closer in community, but also build your body up. You feel me? Get a swole, get a pump. And how I see it, like I have like this. Someone had told me, one of my classmates around the time had like mentioned this, and I thought this was such a good idea. Is like on a wall climber have like verses on the wall. So let's say they want to read another verse and they have to climb and climb. I want to get to that verse. I want to know how much the Lord loves me. And yes, in the word. The word will be there. But it's also a good activity. We climb, 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 climb. And on the treadmill, it'll have like this mural of like something involving Christ. And I don't know. It's just like something that I've envisioned for like the past 2 years now. So I'm saying it out here. Like it goes into what I said before. Whatever dream, whatever vision, just chase your dreams. You can feel like your dreams are unattainable right now, but if it's something that the Lord put on it, put a stamp on it, by all means, I don't care if it takes 10, 50, 50,000 years, it's going to happen. It just might not happen in the way you think it's going to happen. But if the Lord says so, it's going to happen. You know? So, just chase your dreams. Just chase your dreams, bro. And yeah. So that's what I'm talking about, dreams. Um, I really, I really don't know what else to talk about. Uh, let's talk about something I saw last week. So I don't know, to paint the picture. I went to a scene. It was a little boy. Little boy's parents ain't picked him up. So I'm out there talking to the boy, and he's such a pure, kind-hearted little boy. He's a second grader, and I'm just talking to him. He's like, "Oh, I want to be a such and such," and I'm like, "Bro, really? That's what I do. Chase your dreams, little man." And I'm like, I love that part about my job is like talking to little kids and talking to people because, bro, this kid has so much purity in his eyes and heart, and that's certain situations in life and what I do. You don't really get to see the purity all the time. You rather see darkness and blah blah blah, death and blah blah blah. Ooh, but um, I saw this kid and we get his mom on the phone. So it didn't hit me till like a few days later after I'll get into that why it hit me. But so his mom was on a walker. His mom just got out of chemo and fell asleep and just missed time to pick him up. And when this boy saw his mom, the light in his eyes and body just lit up, and he's like, "Mom!" He ran after his mom. And I don't know, at the time it didn't really faze me, but I had read Matthew 18 like 3 days later, and it talked about how let the little children come to me, humble your souls like the little children, like pretty much saying like the faith of the little children, the purity of the little children is the faith that the Lord wants us to be at when we go to the kingdom. And that's what I saw. I didn't realize it at the time, but that's what I saw, bro. And I wrote it down. But like I said, after reading Matthew 18, I realized what I saw in the human scene and read in the Bible just occurred simultaneously. Like the little boy running to his mom didn't see her as her circumstances. He just saw his mom, that purity in his eyes, that saw no wrong in her. That's just my mom. And like I said, it touched me hard because that's how Jesus wants us to be. Like, to run after our Father, to run after Him, to be like that little boy that I saw, to be so pure in heart and faith that when you look at the Father, there's nothing but purity in your eyes and love, and that's where I want to be. That's where I want my faith to be. That's where I wish for all of our faiths to be like, to run after the Father, just like a little kid. And I wrote this because that's just so where I want to be, is to run after the Father, because especially right now, because of circumstances, life can get lonely and life can feel hard. And all that I want to do is just run after Jesus, no matter how hard it is. And that's all He wants us to do. Just get back on track and focus on the Lord. And I had put like my biggest prayer is that my faith and others' faiths is just like that little boy that I saw, running after the Father, running after Jesus. And yeah, I don't know why I said that, but it's just that touched me so hard. It's like one of the good things that I've seen when doing what I do. Um, but yeah, I don't know what life will look like anymore. I'm at this point, man, like I don't know anything anymore. I've tried to control so much situations about my life, and I just ended up on my ass and falling face on my face, falling hard on my face. I don't know anything, man. I'm just trying to make sure that I do whatever the Lord calls me to do, and I do it right. Because for far too long, I tried to put control over my life and other circumstances and other people and where I thought my life was going to go. But you don't know anything, man. You don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow. That's how much little control we have over our lives. We have free will, but the Lord controls our lives, man. And it's kind of where I'm at and I've been getting to, but it just didn't hit me till recently. And I don't know, bro. I know not. Literally where I've been at and I'm trying to be at and stay at. You just don't know how fast your life can change. You don't know what your life may look like. And yeah, man. So I want to talk more. I really do. But I'm coming up to that hour mark of this video, and I don't want to, you know, kill you to death with story after story. You can save that. You got to stretch it out. You got to stretch out your ideas sometimes. But all that being said is, I make no promises on a consistent update with this podcast. But I will try my hardest to come back more frequently and get people to, if they want to, talk about their truth, share what's been on their mind and heart. I want to go out in the city and really talk to people, like homeless people that are on drugs, and people are just trying to make by. And then I want to talk to business people. I want to talk from the highs of highs to the lows of lows in Earth's eyes, and just talk. I don't know where this is going to lead. I don't know where it's going to go, but I appreciate all of you guys for listening to this podcast of this return episode. I know it was all over the place, but I appreciate you for tuning ears, whoever tunes ears. This has been another episode of Your Spoken Truth. Much love and peace out.